Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley had surprisingly strict dress code for Lindsie. In a shocking twist, Todd Chrisley had a surprisingly strict dress code for his eldest daughter, Lindsie Chrisley. Though the two had a strained relationship for many years, they did reconcile before he went to prison for 12 years. Now, the 35-year-old is opening up about being a Chrisley daughter and the rules she had to abide by. Keep reading for further details. Lindsie Chrisley has been shunned by her siblings, especially her younger sister, Savannah Chrisley. They had all come together before their parents, Julie and Todd Chrisley, were sentenced. In October 2022, Lindsie appeared on Savannah's podcast, and it looked like they were mending whatever broken fences had been there in the past. Unfortunately, that did not last long, as Savannah alleged her sister was to blame for their parents' conviction. More so, she claimed Lindsie had been a snitch and their relationship fell apart and has been irretrievably broken. Fortunately, both girls are still very close to Todd's mother, Nanny Faye Chrisley, and she will pop by both podcasts. She was just on Unlocked discussing the holidays and Savannah's boyfriend, Robert Shiver. Nanny also predicted when she foresees Todd and Julie coming home. She was also on Lindsie's Southern Tea podcast talking about moving and major life changes. Now Lindsie is opening up about what it was like growing up with Todd as her father and the strict rules he enforced upon her. According to People, Todd Chrisley had a very strict dress code for Lindsie Chrisley when she was a teenager. This is interesting given he was all about making his children and himself as pretty as possible. She dished on this during her Coffee Convos podcast, which she co-hosts alongside Teen Mom alum Kylie Lowry. I specifically remember when I was in middle school that I wanted all these clothes from Abercrombie, and then went through the limited 2 phase. I was not allowed to wear any of that stuff, and I felt so left out. Lindsie noted Todd was against her wearing skirts or skirts because he absolutely was not being a part of that. So how did the whole dress code situation even come up? After all, Kylie Lowry has 6 boys and an infant daughter, Valley. Therefore, she has not made it to the tween or teenage part of worrying about what her daughter is wearing just yet. Apparently, Lindsie Chrisley was interested in Kaylin's opinion on a new fad that girls are wearing called butterfly skirts. I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and we were talking about kids and clothes and how they dress today, specifically girls. Where is the line that you draw as a parent that is mothering girls? Where do you draw the line? Lindsie is also a boy mom with her son, Jackson being just 11. Kaylee noted that girls should be free to express themselves because they are not the problem. She added, "However, we live in a society where that's like. We do have to be careful." Are you shocked that Todd Chrisley was so strict he would not even allow skirts? More so, do you think that is why Lindsie has more fun with clothing an adult? Let us know in the comments below. Todd Chrisley, the outspoken patriarch of Chrisley Knows Best, has always been known for his meticulous approach to fashion, interior design, and even how he presents his family to the world. But one detail about Todd's parenting that fans are now buzzing about is his surprisingly strict dress code for his eldest daughter, Lindsie Chrisley. For years, viewers saw Lindsie as the quietly rebellious one, the daughter who often stood out, with her own opinions and style, especially compared to her siblings, who seemed to lean more toward Todd's image of perfection. Yet behind the scenes, Todd apparently implemented a set of fashion rules that he expected Lindsie to follow growing up. Rules so specific, they sounded more like guidelines for a runway show than the life of a teenage girl in Atlanta. The color palette rule. Todd reportedly had a strict color palette for what he considered Chrisley-appropriate attire. Neutral tones and classic colors like navy, Black, beige, and crisp white were always acceptable. But neon colors, overly busy patterns, and anything with rhinestones or sequins, absolutely off limits. According to family insiders, Todd would even veto school shopping hauls if they didn't meet his standards. Dad would say things like, "We're not running a circus. You need to look polished," Lindsie once recalled in an old podcast episode. He genuinely believed every outfit represented the Chrisley brand. This rule even extended to shoes. Flashy sneakers or high-top Converse were a no-go. Todd favored loafers, ballet flats, or clean white tennis shoes for casual moments. Even gym outfits were expected to coordinate. Skirt lengths and hemlines. One of the most talked about parts of Todd's dress code was his firm stance on skirt lengths. Todd reportedly measured outfits to ensure they were at least fingertip length when Lindsie stood with her arms at her sides. If anything came up short, it was deemed inappropriate for a Chrisley. He would say, "We don't advertise the goods, we preserve the mystery," a family friend shared with a laugh. It was a little old-fashioned, but Todd took it seriously. Even ripped jeans, a staple in many teenagers' wardrobes, were largely banned in the Chrisley household during Lindsie's teen years. Todd felt distressed denim looked sloppy and unkempt, a sharp contrast to the polished image he expected his children to present. Jewelry and accessories. Todd's influence wasn't limited to clothing alone. Accessories were also closely monitored. No chunky, overly flashy jewelry. No oversized hoop earrings. Todd considered them distracting. He preferred delicate gold or silver pieces and encouraged Lindsie to choose pearls or classic studs. Hair accessories, too, were a part of the conversation. Todd famously hated scrunchies. He said they made us look like we were stuck in a 1980s workout video, Lindsie joked once in an interview. Instead, he encouraged sleek ponytails, neatly brushed styles, or soft curls that framed the face in a laddie-like manner. The church outfit rule. Church Sundays came with their own dress code entirely. Todd expected the family to look their absolute best for church service, and that meant no casual dresses, no leggings, and definitely no sneakers. Lindsie reportedly had a small collection of carefully chosen Sunday outfits that Todd approved in advance. He would iron everything, double-check our shoes, and even match our handbags, Lindsie recalled. Sundays felt like fashion shows sometimes. The rebellion, of course, when you give a teenager strict rules, rebellion often follows. Lindsie, being the independent soul she is today, had her share of fashion arguments with her father. She loved experimenting with bold patterns, ripped denim jackets, and yes, the occasional neon top. On one episode of Chrisley Knows Best, Lindsie famously walked into the house wearing a short floral dress and ankle boots, prompting Todd to jokingly say, "You look like you're auditioning for a music video, not going to brunch." Fans laughed, but insiders said those quips were based on real-life disagreements between father and daughter. Lessons and influence. Despite their differences, Lindsie admitted years later that Todd's strict fashion rules did influence her adult wardrobe. "He taught me to value presentation," she said. "I may not follow all of his rules now, but I do think about how I present myself in public, and that definitely came from him." Even now, fans notice that Lindsie tends to choose structured blazers, clean lines, and neutral tones for public appearances. A far cry from the grunge or ultra-casual aesthetic that many influencers lean toward. Todd may have instilled a permanent preference for polished looks, even if his early methods were strict.